Welcome to this week's Work the Left Side. It's actually not this week's. We've already had this week's. I spoke to the man with the power, Scott Bell. This is a cheeky bonus episode because we have an AEW pay-per-view. So I'm joined by Mr. AEW himself, Ash.
Greetings, humans.
Yeah, dude. That's what I say. It's a cheeky bonus episode this week. Been kind of inundated with interviews a lot recently, so it'd be nice just to sit down and actually just talk.
Yeah.
Some predictions, some fancy booking, and stuff like that, as we normally do.
Cool.
So, yeah, Revelation, Sunday night, Revolution, in it. So,
yeah,
pretty stacked card so far. Obviously, Rampage is tonight, so we're kind of preempting a few more matches after Rampage. I'm going to predict, obviously, an Adam Cole match being announced, hopefully.
I'd like that to be the case, but he says he's going to make his own in-ring debut, the Dynamite, before that AEW All Access thing
I missed that.
debuts. Okay. So I think that I'm not sure whether that's this coming next Wednesday. I'm not sure. It's coming up though. But yeah, that's one of the points that I was going to bring up actually. So we'll just cover it while you've mentioned, seeing as you've mentioned him already. I feel like this card has got a lot of like rematches, and it's like kind of couldn't be as good as it could, it's not as good as it could be. And I feel like not having Adam Cole's first match after 7-8 months out on this pay-per-view is a bit of a wet fart.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah.
Fully agree. But if there's logic behind it, if there's something to do with that access thing, if they think they're going to get more eyes on the product at that point.
Yeah.
And then, so I think they're kind of banking on Danielson, MJF selling the tickets, a 60-minute match between them two guys.
Yeah.
So TV ratings are as important as pay-per-view ratings nowadays, based on what we hear and see. So, there'll be a logic behind it. But I do agree, I would have liked to have seen Adam Cole's big return in front of a pay-per-view audience. So
from what I'm gathering, that All Access first episode's all about Adam Cole's return. So I can see why they've done that, but I would have much liked to have seen something big and exciting on this card. Another big and exciting thing. And Adam Cole, baby, would have been exactly that. So
I'm going to go straight into a match that isn't a rematch.
Okay.
It's the match I'm most hyped about. So I want to kind of get it out of the way because I've got a feeling we've both got a lot to say about this. So I'm going to go with I'm going to start with the trios titles.
I had a feeling you were going to say that.
Yep.
By all means, go first.
So yeah, well, obviously the Elite versus the House of Black. I can abide a lot in wrestling. I'm not always happy with this way storylines work out, but it is what it is. I'm interested to see how it plays out, or they're not going to please everybody all of the time. But I will go on record and say if the House of Black do not win the trios titles by the end of this match, I will legitimately be fuming and questioning TK's logic tenfold, because the House 100%. Of Black need the trios titles.
100 million %. Like I'm in complete agreement with that. If they don't win and get the push that they so drastically deserve, and actually become not credible, but you know what I mean by they need the titles. They just fucking deserve the titles. So if it doesn't happen, then I'm just going to be flabbergasted on an extreme level. It needs to happen.
Definitely. And I don't want to see, they lost this time, but then they'll get a rematch and they'll win the titles the next time. I'll have the Acclaimed and, some of the other teams that have gone down that route. Yeah. It suits some teams. The House of Black aren't a faction that loses and then regains their redemption by winning the next time around or the third time around. They have one match, they win. They then, if they want to have 2 or 3 more matches with the Elite afterwards, fine. But they keep the titles every time. It just makes them look like an absolute force.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure, 1,000,000%.
You pointed out via messages. I fully agree with you. I think the Young Bucks are needed back in the tag division. I think Kenny's needed back in the singles division.
Yes.
I think there's some interesting singles matches for Kenny going forward. So yeah, take the trios titles off of them. Have them go the sort of not separate ways. Obviously, they're still going to be the elite, but have them work in singles and tags, for the foreseeable.
That's the way I would do it. Absolutely. The tag division is it's not very good at the moment.
Rooted at the minute, yeah.
And the Bucks.
Well, I've seen on Dynamite. Basically the main event on Dynamite. All the tag that came out.
There's loads of tag teams there, but like, how many of them were actual proper tag teams and not just two guys put together? Which is something we've kind of given WWE grief for many times over the years. But yeah, anyway, so I'm gonna try and remain positive because.
Oh yeah. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
And that's why I think the Bucks are needed. And just because guys like the Bucks will make teams like Top Flight, the Kingdom, guys like that, if they can get into a series of matches with those kind of guys, it gives credibility to them, and it just makes the division look stronger overall, kind of thing.
Yes.
So, right, so yeah, House of Black nailed on, got to win, or there will be a one-man riot up in this house.
I will have a tantrum on the floor like a 3-year-old if the House of Black don't win. Literally, yeah. I'll be watching it live and tantruming at whatever AM when if it doesn't happen that way.
I think I'll just be calling you up crying. Now I know that you're watching it live. I'll be watching it live. I've got Monday off work, so we can just sit on the phone and cry to each other.
Well, I'm actually going to be at work, but I'm on nights, so getting paid to watch wrestling. All good, man.
All me the money. Right, I'll let you pick the next match.
Well, seeing as we already mentioned the tag division, why don't we cover the tag title match? So it's a tag team title 4-way between the champions Gun Club, the Acclaimed, and we've got Triple J, which is Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal, and then we've got Orangehausen, let's just say. Looking at this match, I'm kind of like, it's just kind of there. I don't really get it, to be honest with you.
Which sucks for an Acclaimed match because Acclaimed match should be excited about. I've been excited about the last 3 or 4 Acclaimed matches.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know if it's just involvement for Jarrett for me. I'm just looking at this like, oh, for fuck's sake, he's on my CV again. Love Jay Lethal. It's a love-hate relationship with that tag team. Love Lethal. Hate Jarrett.
Yeah, I'm not so much into Jarrett. Like, Lethal's awesome. Gun Club, I feel like there's a lot at play with the Gun Club. Like, why they have the titles. I've seen everybody moaning online like people do. Like, I'm not the most into the Gun Club ever, but like I can understand that there's cogs moving the story along. Like FTR, they beat FTR on Rampage, I think it was a while back, not so long ago, if you remember. They were in the front row dressed as FTR, mocking them, and then after they dropped all the tag titles, they held a funeral for FTR, to which FTR have not even appeared on TV since. I think so. Especially with Dax doing all his little working on Twitter and stuff, he knows exactly what he's doing. So I just kind of think Gun Club will hold the titles until FTR return, and then FTR will get their big win back. But that's my fantasy booking. How about you?
I would agree with that. I think it was a mistake to take the titles. I think they had a problem with they had a team like the Acclaimed at the top, fans were way behind them. Could have held the belts for a lot longer, but then you had a team like the Gun Club, which are, for me, the most improved tag team in the last 12 months.
They're awesome,
I think they've come on leaps and bounds. They're entertaining as fuck. You hate them, you meant to hate them. And I think they've done the job perfectly. So it's kind of nice to see with the tag belts. I get why they got the tag belts. It was just bad timing in the sense of it's hurt the Acclaimed to have lost them already.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, FTR coming back again, fancy booking. I want FTR back in AEW. I want them to get the belts back off of the Gun Club, just for that sort of redemption arc, and then just go from there, kind of thing.
Yeah, we need FTR back. We need more stars. Like, not saying that there's not stars in AEW, but like big name, like proper marquee names, and FTR are absolutely that. So I feel like, so for me, it's going to be a fun match. Let's be fair. There's not one slouch in this match at all. But I feel like the Guns retain, and Danhausen takes the pin, because if you remember, Danhausen was the one that made Ass Boys popular, and he's the entire reason that they get called Ass Boys at every corner. Ass Boys, yes.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Danhausen's there for merch and to take the pin for. So I fully agree. It'll be a fun match. We've kind of, shit on it a little bit, but it'll do its job. It'll be, a 3 out of 5 star match, I presume, which is, average. It's good. It's enjoyable.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to moan about it. And
whet the appetite.
We'll just wait. Yeah. I'll just be sat there watching it, wait for FTR's music to kick in at the end or something. That's what I'm going to be sat there waiting for.
We can hope and dream.
Yes, exactly. Silver lining is, if that doesn't happen, we will get FTR versus the Usos at some point. It's not all bad. Right. Fresh off of seeing Ruby Soho last weekend, let's discuss the women's 3-way.
Yeah, dude.
I'm looking forward to this. Anytime you get to see Jamie Hayter in the ring, I'm quite happy, to be honest.
Yeah, she's a killer. Well, literally, she's the killer. The killer and the pillar. Yeah, I like Jamie Hayter. I've got to say, I'm not crazy on this whole Saraya Tony Storm heel turn WWE kind of stand thing. It doesn't make any sense to me, and I'm just not that into it.
Right.
I don't know. It's just a bit weird. Like, they just suddenly were heels, even though Saraya's literally been back 5 minutes and should be riding that big return babyface wave.
Yeah.
They've gone a weird way with it, but I feel like because Hayter and Baker are so popular, they've just turned them face, and then by process, they've had to go heel. So I don't know. It's all a bit kind of confusing to me. But like, I'm not really, like I said, I'm not bang into this heel turn of Saraya so far. But this match should be fun. Saraya can work. Hayter's awesome. Ruby's fucking awesome too. So yeah, I don't really have much more to say on the matter, to be fair with you.
I think it's good that they've given Ruby something to get her teeth into, because Ruby's one of those people where if she's just floating around and she's aimless, she's very easy to get lost. But if you give her something meaningful, something to get her teeth into, she grabs onto it and she fucking runs with it. And she's a very good character, very good performer. And she can hold your attention when she's got something to hold it for. And I think this is the perfect thing for that.
She's a good babyface. Hopefully, she's not just been put in this match to eat the L, which is exactly what I'm thinking.
Probably, but
to be fair,
I think she'll still look strong in it. I think she'll take the W, but she'll still look good in it, kind of thing. I think it'll be cheeky shenanigans. There'll be a bit of gaga. She'll take the pinfall, but she won't look weak doing so. Same as you in regards to the Tony Storm Saraya thing. It was all seemed to happen just like that. But again, same as the Gun Club Acclaim situation, it was really weird timing where you had obviously Saraya, massive pops, everybody's loving her, she's back. But the obvious nemesis was Baker and Hayter, who are just so over. They're kind of untouchable in the sense of, it's like, fuck, we need a good guy. We know AEW likes the good guy, bad guys things. They turned Danielson heel when he went against Hangman just so they could keep the face heel sort of perspective. They like the heel face dynamic. So one of them has to go heel. And they've done a really good job in turning Saraya and Storm heel for me, but the fact of they're just coming across as absolute cunts. And I love this. I love the spraying, the tagging, the L's. It's nice to see Storm as a heel as well. I think she's very good. She's got all the heel mannerisms down, and I don't think I've ever really seen Storm as a heel before, and she's doing it very, very well.
Yeah, fair enough. in the original kind of when they first turned, I thought that maybe because they were like the WWE Stan basically team, they kind of alluding to that, aren't they? I was wondering whether because Mercedes Moné just debuted with New Japan as a heel, whether they were going to be bringing Mercedes in as part of that team. But then I don't really want Mercedes to be part of a team. She just needs herself, really. But I'm kind of leaning more towards Mercedes is not going to be on this show, which is, my opinion's changed. But so yeah, we've got Storm in Saraya's corner. We've got Baker in Hayter's corner. What happened to Shida? She was part of this feud in the original days. Do you remember?
She was, yeah.
Yeah, she's just disappeared.
She kind of comes and goes sometimes, doesn't she? So
yeah, I think she still lives in Japan, so that's fair enough, really.
Yeah. Because she was the one that everybody thought she was going to turn heel on Saraya and Storm. But it was those two guys turned heel, and it's like, okay. But yeah, looking forward to it. Hayter still, obviously, Hayter gets the W. No way Hayter's dropping the belt yet, I would have thought. Unless they want to cement Saraya's heel turn and put the belt on her another as a heel champ.
Not yet. Me, not just yet.
No, for me, not yet.
She's got a way to go before she's world title business. But anyway.
Yeah. So,
I think the next thing for Hayter is Baker gets the green-eyed monster and turns eventually.
Eventually, yeah, but I think they're just riding the Baker as a face thing at the minute, aren't they? I can't see them. They've just turned Storm and Saraya heel. If they turn Baker heel, it kind of pisses all over that. And they're going to have to turn them back face, and then we're all into a whole big show category where, people are just turning face and heel.
Yeah, fair enough.
Eventually, yeah, I Baker and Hayter down the line, but I'd be sort of saying towards the end of the year for that, as opposed to, anytime soon.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me. Right, let's talk about, as my missus would describe him, the big sexy bastard.
Wardlow. He is a big sexy bastard, though, to be fair. I'd want him to just hold me like a small child.
He's incredible, except for his flappy armed clothesline. He's awesome.
Muscle daddy.
Versus Joe, who I know you've got a reduced love for.
Yeah,
wasn't digging him.
He's a much better heel than he is a face. It just being slow and methodical suits being a heel. It just didn't quite click for me with the babyface business. But yeah, I love his theme. His entrance theme always gets me going.
He's just go Joe on a mic, and you've got something like Joe in the company. You just give him a mic and just let him talk as well.
He was on commentary the other day for Dynamite, wasn't he? He's really funny.
Yeah, man, I think Joe's just boss. It was the face of the Revolution match, wasn't it? Obviously, that Mr. Will Hobbs won. And she had this showdown between Wardlow and Joe at the top of the ramp, and Hobbs was just kind of sat there watching them at the bottom.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I'm expecting some hella muscle daddies giving it beans, and yeah, it should be fun.
Just big men slapping meat, isn't it? This one.
That's exactly it. Yeah, I couldn't think of the words, but there you go.
Slapping and meat. I think it'll be a good match. We're probably talking about a 10-minute match. Based on who won the Sonic ring, I'm going to say Joe gets the win, and then we get Hobbs versus Joe. Yeah, I think Hobbs is getting lined up as a face.
Seems that way, doesn't it? Yeah. I before the Face of the Revolution ladder match was announced for Dynamite, and then for that be a TNT title shot, I was wondering whether the winner of this match will be Wardlow. And then Miro's music hits, and he returns, and then it's Wardlow and Miro. But it doesn't seem that way, does it? Because obviously Hobbs is. I don't know. I'm in two minds about this match. Like, I feel like whoever wins it is going to drop to Hobbs on Dynamite. Yeah. And I don't want Wardlow to be a champion for 3 days, because that will just kind of kill his momentum more, because he's so I think
that's why my money's on Joe.
Yeah, I would like Wardlow to win, but not if he's going to drop to Hobbs. Hobbs deserves the title, so I'm going to go with Joe.
Exactly. And I think we're going to have a Wardlow MJF arc down the line at some point if they can make Wardlow
Absolutely.
still look like a world champion challenger, even though he lost his challenge for the TNT. That's where you're going to have to work the storyline kind of thing, I think. So, Joe to win. You say then Hobbs to get it off of Joe, just purely to keep Wardlow strong. So you say you don't win it and then drop it 3 days later.
Yeah, that's a bad move, but yeah.
As long then when Hobbs wins it, then we get Miro's music on Dynamite.
Oh! I read a report from Fightful Select earlier saying there's been contact with Miro about a return and this, that, and the other. So they're usually the most dependable of the wrestling outlets. So I am gonna mark the F out when that music hits finally.
What, MJF versus Miro?
Oh, seriously, stop it! Stop it! It's a good job I'm wearing pants right now.
It's Woody time. There's a snake in my boots. So yeah, go on this one. Right, let's try and the equivalent of an ice cold shower. I'm trying to think. We'll go. What match next? The ice cold shower match. We'll say
Jungle Boy and Christian Cage.
Yeah, right, there we go.
Sorry to jump in there, but this is my cold shower on this card. I don't know. Were you going to say this, by the way?
I was going to say Jericho Stark, but I didn't want. I like Stark. I didn't really want to say that. But yeah, Christian Cage, Jungle Boy.
This obviously Christian's been injured and he couldn't help that, and it's just this feud feels like it's just been going on for about a year, and I just would have liked to have culminated already. I could do, if this is on the pre-show, then fine, but I don't think it's going to be on the pre-show. So, and I'm sure it'll be good because the two guys involved are class.
Yes.
But I could just kind of do without this one personally.
It's a really weird one. Because, like you sort of said, it's going to be a banging match. Jungle Boy's quality, you know, he's got so much potential. And then we're looking to build him up. He's going to be a massive star. Christian Cage is just phenomenal for me. Anybody who knows me knows, and I say this loads, and it just pisses people right off. But it's probably because they know that I'm right. Is that Christian was the better brother out of Edge and Christian. So anytime Christian's in the ring, I'm psyched to see it.
Yeah, I've got a lot of love for Edge because, you know, what a career! What a career he had against the odds, and then the big injury comeback, and he turned up in a few bits acting like Vikings, and that was cool to see. And when he returned at the Rumble a couple of years ago, it was incredible. I got goosebumps. But yeah, Christian's been to multiple companies and won titles, so he's got the more rounded wrestling career for me.
His whole thing is key, outwork everyone. He's just the better worker. He's the wrestler's wrestler. You know, you listen to anybody going on about it. I used to listen to the Bruce Pritchard podcast ages ago, and they did a whole episode for Christian, and they just broke down his whole career, his achievements.
Yeah,
and dude's a fucking force, man. But yeah, unfortunately, it's kind of gone past its sell-by date through nobody's fault. They say Christian got injured, and he just kind of hit a wall, and he was like, "Fuck." So,
well, we got the Luchasaurus turn and feud, didn't we? So hopefully there's no Luchasaurus involved in this match, but I just feel like there will be.
Yeah, and fair enough, if he comes back, fair enough. I do miss Luchasaurus. I like him. I'm kind of missing him off my screens at the minute. So, but Jungle Boy gets to win. That's it. Stick a pin in it. Jungle Boy can go on then to
moving swiftly on.
Yeah, go for the fucking All Atlantic title or the TNT title or something.
Yeah, I expect Jack Perry to be TNT champion by the end of the year, in my opinion. But hopefully that's only after Hobbs has had a few months breaking people's backs.
So Jungle Boy, clear cut victory for this one, no doubt about it. Yeah, I'll bet my left ST on it. Jungle Boy gets the win. Job's done. Move on.
Yes, let's do that.
Not quite a cold shower then, but we'll just turn the temperature up a little bit. We'll go Jericho Starks. No besmirchment to either guy. Jericho's a fucking goat, and Starks is absolute. It's not a false advertising. There we go. I'm not overly fussed on. I know it's going to be a good match. I'm not involved in it.
Yeah, I mean, Starks got a win on Dynamite over Jericho about a month or maybe more ago. And with it, so the JAS is banned from ringside.
Yeah.
So who's gonna intervene and win the match for Jericho is my question. I've seen people theorizing that Action Andretti might be the guy because he's been part of the story. But then what is the JAS going to have like a 50th member? I don't need that. We don't need that. I just want Starks to go over. And move swiftly on.
Exactly.
Yeah,
same thing. I'll take Starks winning it. Jericho doesn't need the win. This would seriously help cement Starks as another a future champion. The guy held his own against MJF. His mic skills are phenomenal. The pebble can do no wrong for me.
Yeah.
Starks. I want to say Starks. Unfortunately, my head's saying Jericho, but my heart's saying Starks. So we'll go Starks.
I'm exactly the same as you. I would much prefer Starks. I will smile more if Starks gets the win, but I just have a feeling it's going to be Jericho with shenanigans involved.
Yeah.
From some mysterious source.
So, what else have we got? We must have a few more matches. Have they announced? Has Keith Lee versus Swerve been announced? No.
So on Rampage tonight, there is Swerve Strickland and Parker Boudreaux versus Keith Lee and Dustin Rhodes. Now, I really hope that this ends with the Swerve and Keith Lee match being announced for Revolution, because this was one of the matches I was most looking forward to. And why on earth would it not be on the pay-per-view after all that build and all that story? It's just petering out into nothing, and it's wasting it, because that's going to be a hell of a match. It just is. So I'm going to watch Rampage in the morning and see what happens there, but I really hope that they get added to this card.
Fully agree.
It's a strange move if it's not.
Keith Lee is one of those guys. Everybody knows how good he is. He should be in the title picture within the next 12 months. He's the kind of guy that you could. You've got your four pillars of the younguns. Like your Jungle Boys, Darby Allins, MJFs, and then you got your current guys, or guys within the next 12 months, which are the foundations, which should be like your Miros, your Keith Lees, the guys that you could build it around. Adam Cole, those are the kind of guys that you want. Aleister Black or House of Black. They're the guys that you want just on the edge, ready to go for the title whenever you want them to.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. Yeah. Just people being treated like stars, big time. But yeah.
And Keith Lee is one of those guys, when his music hits and he comes out and the crowd are behind him, he's got that music. It's all about the music as well. People are singing along. He gets a massive reaction. He feels like a big deal.
I do like his theme. I end up singing it for like hours. Yeah. Sometimes I'll just get it stuck in my head and I'll just be singing it for hours. But yeah, let's just see what happens on Rampage. But let's just hope for the best. Did you also, while we're talking about Rampage, did you also see that there's a 4-way tag match on Rampage? So it's Claudio and Yuta versus Aussie Open versus Top Flight versus Dark Order. And right. I'm looking at that, and literally the comment section is like saying the same thing, and everybody's saying this is more exciting than the tag title match at Revolution, because it is on the surface at least. That should be really fun.
should be a good match. I don't see the point of it, but I'll get it should be a banging. All 4 teams involved, unless it's to whoever wins that challenges for the winner of the pay-per-view match kind of thing. They become number 1 contenders. That would make sense, I suppose.
Yeah.
But get Aussie Open versus the Gun Club.
Everybody.
And then you got Aussie Open versus FTR down the line for the titles, hopefully.
Oh, yes, please. Yes, please. Yes, please. But as it stands, they're the only 2 matches on Rampage, so that's a bit of an odd one. So
I'm sure Jade will have a match. I'm sure Jade will have a squash match on the buy-in.
Yeah. That would make sense, wouldn't it? But
are we going to get Ortiz versus Kingston at any point, or has Kingston legitimately quit AEW and walked away?
Well, yeah, he rage quit, didn't he? Well, he's it's a work. Obviously, he's going to work in the ROH shows for the foreseeable future, by the sounds of it. So it's I quit. He's just going somewhere else. But that's another thing that's kind of just gone nowhere. Like the Ortiz Kingston turning on each other, it just kind of went nowhere. And did they even have a match?
No.
Weird, really weird. It just happened for no reason.
They had about 5 minutes at the start of the ladder match, and then I don't think they saw them touch each other after that.
Yeah, because they disappeared in the back, and then Excalibur was like 10 people that needed to split them up, and it's just like, why not just keep them in the match?
Yeah,
I don't know. That's just a strange thing that's happened recently. So yeah, that's a shame that it's gone nowhere.
That would have been a good buy-in match for me. Those 2 guys. You want to put the whole point of a buy-in show is to show people, something exciting, get them interested in the pay-per-view. If they haven't bought the pay-per-view, I think Ortiz and Kingston. I mean, Kingston is fucking awesome at buy-in matches. He had that one ages ago against. I always forget the guy's fucking name. The little shit house.
Ishii.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were chopping the shit out of each other.
Yeah, you know what I mean? If you hadn't bought the pay-per-view before that, you watch that match, you could fuck it, I'm buying the pay-per-view now.
Yeah.
And that's what Kingston can do. He can kind of get you just right. So for me, Kingston Ortiz would have been a perfect buy-in match.
It doesn't seem like we're ever going to get it. Not at the moment anyway. So that's just strange that it happened and went nowhere. But anyway,
it also seems. Well, I'm hoping we get Garcia and Sammy versus somebody maybe at the pay-per-view or the buy-in. You got guys like fucking hate Sammy. I love Garcia though. I'll take Garcia versus somebody at the buy-in. Garcia needs to get some momentum back.
Yeah, he's just faded into the background, which is exactly what I knew would happen. With not because of Sammy, just because there's so many members of the JAS, and Sammy kind of is like Jericho's left hand and Hager's his right hand, or swap over, whichever you want to call it. But yeah.
Just trying to think of. Obviously, if Utah's on Rampage, and again, if you want to get people interested in pay-per-view, I'll quite happily sit and watch Garcia versus Utah again for 10 minutes, 15 minutes on the back. They always put on a solid match.
They do indeed, yeah.
So I'm trying to think of anybody else that's missing. Have we covered all the matches?
So we've got
event. I obviously don't want to touch the main event just yet.
So before the main event, we've got the Texas Death Match between John Moxley and Hangman.
Yes.
Hangman Page, which is, if Hangman doesn't win this match, I do not see the point, in my opinion, because they've had 3 matches. Obviously, they had to the first match was when Hangman got his concussion.
Yeah.
So I do understand that they had to have more matches and all that kind of stuff. But if Hangman doesn't win this match, big win that he so desperately needs, I think, in my opinion. Moxley doesn't need this. Moxley should lose this match and disappear for 6 months, and rest and not bleed for 6 months.
Refuel a little bit. Recuperate all that bloody losers every week.
Yeah, I know you're a big Moxley fan, but
yeah.
I am tired of seeing this guy at the moment. If he goes away for 6 months and makes me miss him, I'll be much happier to see him. But I feel like, remember we spoke about like how AEW lost a lot of stars, like top level stars, quite at similar times. They've been going very hard with Moxley and Jericho, and for quite a while. And I would like to see some fresh faces in those positions for at least a while. So I want Hangman to win. This should be a fun match because it's a Texas death match. What the fuck is going to happen? Who knows? It's going to have some all manners of crazy shit. And so long as we see a buckshot lariat and a 1-2-3 in Hangman's favor, then hell yeah.
Fully agree. Big fan of Moxley's. I could watch these guys go at it over and over again. I think they've got awesome chemistry. They just work very well together. But I do understand the logic of just let Moxley go for a couple of months, just let him rest, let him chill. I thought that was going to happen a while ago. When he took the first loss to Hangman, I thought that was it. He was going to be out for a while after that one. He's finally going to get the vacation that he fucking was meant to get a few months ago. But you're 100% right. Hangman needs this after his loss after dropping the title. He's kind of just floated around. I think he is still an AEW original. He's one of the biggest stars they could have. The fans have kind of waned a little bit recently. We're not getting so much cowboy shit chants going on. I think we need to get that back. We need to get that Hangman back.
Yeah,
that the fans were 100% behind, and we're a massive part of. So
that's happened with a few of AEW's roster lately. I just feel like momentum doesn't always get taken advantage of. With Wardlow, for example, he's people love seeing Wardlow, but it's just kind of it's not as hot as it was a few months ago, if you know what I mean. And Hangman's definitely another one. So I just want people to get the star treatment and have momentum taken advantage of, and get the most out of them and give these guys the world.
Right on. And I think, like I said, a big victory over Moxley would do that. It would put Hangman right back at the top of the fucking mountain again.
Yes.
And prove that the guy can go. And like I say, give Moxley a rest. It's going to be a banging match. I just remember the Hangman Page, Lance Archer sort of Texas death match that those two guys had when Hangman was champ. And to me, it's going to be hard to top it because Lance just did the most genius thing. And if nobody else does it ever again, I've got to question why. And it's like when he just took away the top rope. He just came in and started unscrewing the fucking top rope. Often the mindset being, dude can't do the buckshot lariat. No top rope.
Legit.
I was like, that's fucking genius.
Imagine doing a buckshot from the second rope, though. That would look funny.
Oh, he did it over the ref. If I remember correctly, the ref kind of was bent over for something, and Hangman just flipped over the referee and clocked it. And it was just like, but the thought behind it was like, this is genius. Why has nobody ever done that before? I was like, hang on, mate, the guy uses the top rope. Well, fuck him. Take away the top rope.
It's too obvious. That's why.
But in the suspension of disbelief that we all have to participate in whilst we watch wrestling, it was just like, you know what? That is as realistic as you can get while still suspending your disbelief, kind of thing. It was just awesome. The fact I still remember it, I still pop for it. I popped for the memory of it. I was like, that was genius. To me, that was the greatest thing Lance Archer's ever done. That and throwing people through the ceiling.
Yeah. I do like the way he brings, like, when he makes his entrance, he just drags people out along with him and just beats the hell out of them. That's a good little a side note to what he does.
Hopefully we might get a Takeshita match at the buy-in. I think that dude needs, to be on every pay-per-view and every episode of Dynamite, as far as I'm concerned.
Yes.
Get Takeshita. We talked about stars that need to be made to feel like stars. He's the next second coming for a big AEW original for me.
Yeah, man, for sure.
They can claim him and they can make a massive deal out of him. Obviously, kind of segue back to Dynamite, we saw old Don watching the ladder match on the TV backstage, obviously scouting somebody or watching out for somebody. I didn't hear the commentary at the time, so I don't know if it was touched upon, but I'm thinking Takeshita.
It is, yeah. So this began on Elevation a little while ago, maybe 6 or 7 weeks ago. Takeshita was having a match. I forget who against, but Don Callis, I believe, walked down to the ring and watched at ringside, or something like that. Definitely, my memory's hazy, as you know, but I remember that happening. So it has been building for a little while.
Awesome.
So I do feel like something's cooking.
Oh, so we could eventually get Kenny versus Takeshita. See, that could be his big test. Like Kenny versus Okada's been banging matches, or Kenny versus Ibushi. Let's see how Takeshita does against see how he does against Kenny, kind of thing.
The best bout machine.
Yeah.
This is why we need Kenny back as a singles wrestler, man. Like,
yeah, exactly.
We've had a taste of it so far with the Will Ospreay match, which is just mind blowing.
But that was the New Kingdom, wasn't it? That was it. That's the thing. That kind of teased us, and it's like that's why another reason. Yeah, put the books back in the tags, get Kenny back in singles, and just show people. I think he's obviously 100% recovered now. He's healthy. He doesn't need the to tag in and out during matches anymore. I think go a full solid match by himself.
He looks amazing, dude. Like, seriously. Again, about like people being treated like stars and given the treatment when Kenny made his entrance at Wrestle Kingdom. Was it Wrestle Kingdom?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was just made out to be a megastar. Like, the entrance was awesome. Obviously, it was like a very big special show with like a super awesome main event that everybody in the wrestling sphere was like looking forward to and stuff. But it was just the treatment, and he's not been given that treatment, whether it's his own choice in AEW for a little while. But yeah, it's okay. Hope as long as we have Kenny Omega, all is well.
Exactly. So main event time then.
Yes, man.
So the 60 minutes. I was looking at the card thinking, I'm sure there must be more matches added, but then obviously I've just come to realise the main event's a 60-minute freaking match. So that's going to take up 20%, 25% of the actual card anyway.
This is true. Yeah, usually we've got like 15 matches on AEW pay-per-view shows.
so obviously, I'll say straight away, MJF's not losing.
No,
there's no shadow of a doubt about that. But the match itself, I think, will be. We know Danielson can do 60-minute matches. Him and Hangman had an absolute blinder last year, and still one of my favourite matches from last year. This is a 60-minute match between Danielson and Page. For a 60-minute match, I think I've watched it 4 or 5 times, and it just didn't seem that long. And if Danielson and MJF can equal that or top it, you've got a match of the night there.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be a slow burner, obviously, because you can't go full throttle for 60 minutes. There's going to be shenanigans. I fully expect MJF to get on the mic halfway through the match and just start giving it beans and giving the crowd grief and ripping into Danielson's family and all that stuff, all that good stuff. And Danielson's going to twist and contort this fella in every direction. And be interested to see what the eventual score is going to be, because
I was going to say, do you think it's going to be a 1-0 job? Do you think it's going to be a 5-4 job? Are we talking like an old school Liverpool Newcastle feud?
I don't know. Maybe like the 1-0 thing makes sense to me, because you don't want your champion being pinned or tapping out. Really, it's his first big defense as well. He's defended it, yes, but this is his first big defense, right?
Pay-per-view defense, yeah.
Yeah. You don't want him looking weak. So, 1-0 could be the way to go. I
say 2-1, with the second one coming in like the 59th minute or something.
Yeah, obviously they do it. They always do that in the last minute. It's just frantic and, oh man, as a shit happens, and then there's a pin with like seconds remaining. There's always that stuff, isn't there?
Or there's a pin with 2 seconds remaining. It's like, oh.
Yeah, like timing's got to be so good for that. I was watching sorry to digress, but I was watching a It was Dax Harwood versus Speedball Mike Bailey from, I think, WrestleCon last year or the year before. And they went 30 minutes and Dax got the pin with like a second of the 30 remaining. I was like, this is going to be a draw. And then all of a sudden Dax gets the win with like a second to go. So it's like to time that as well as they did, it was just so good. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. It should be interesting. Make sure we empty our bladders before we sit down to watch this match because it's going to be such a long one. Yeah. That's what she said.
Totally sex tape. I think, fingers crossed, and hopefully they'll put the Jungle Boy cage match on before this one, and that could be the chance for everyone to go do the thing and then come back and just catch the result of the Jungle Boy cage match.
Yeah, maybe so. They usually put the women's title matches on before the actual proper main event. I think they do it at least.
But, it used to be back in the day. That was the Diva time schedule. So they always used to put the Divas matches on before the main event kind of thing, just to give people a chance to wind down.
Yeah. We have all exhausted from this amazing match. Let's just all sit down and just relax for a moment. Yeah.
That was obviously before women's wrestling became as good as it is nowadays. I'm talking back in the days of, your Candice Michelle's versus fucking Layla's or whatever, Kelly's.
Yeah, for sure. So, MJF to retain?
Of course.
So, now, do we get a certain at some point during this show, or do we not?
I think we get the money. I think Shane O'Mac comes out.
Fuck's sake.
I think Shane O'Mac's in MJF's corner.
You just had to go there, didn't you?
No, dude, I would absolutely jizz my pants. Legitimately, I would say that on camera. Yeah, I would be another sort of
ectoplasm.
Dan Marsh's dad, Randy Marsh.
Yeah.
If Punk comes back, everybody knows. We've discussed it often enough. At the time, Punk went full Punk. He was a massive fucking cunt. But I think enough time has passed now. We've discussed it previously. There's money to be made.
The biggest match in AEW history would be the Elite versus CM FTR.
Yeah.
With the amount of like the story behind it and the all the news coverage, it was everywhere. For how long? People were talking about it for months. People are still talking about it now. What, 6 months, 9 months, or what? Is it 6 months? Well, however long ago it was. The biggest match AEW would ever be able to produce at this moment would be that match, and for them to miss that opportunity would just be boneheaded.
Yeah.
And then if we do get that match, then maybe at Double or Nothing, perhaps. I know it's soon. I think it's in Double or Nothing is going to be in June or July. I'm not sure.
I'll say June. It's about every 3 months, isn't it?
Yeah. So then at All Out, we get Punk versus Kenny.
Yeah.
Which is just like a dream match that's making my hairs literally standing up thinking about it. Like, seriously, I just said that and my arms just started tingling.
Yeah. Not to dwell on too long. I don't want to be those guys that talk about, Punk, but it does deserve talking about and it does deserve a mention. And I would just sort of say, if it happens, I would be a very, very happy bunny and I would feel very pleasurable in my tum-tum.
I will be sat down watching this match, but if that music happens, I will fall over.
Yeah.
Taking the chair with me.
But we do know AEW does like there's going to be somebody turn up at this pay-per-view at some point.
Yeah.
Somebody will make a comeback. Like I sort of say, I was half expecting like Miro's music to hit at some point.
About time. Where the hell has he been?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of people that haven't been on the screen for a while, or it might even be, like you say, Monet, whatever Sasha Banks is calling herself. She might turn up at some point. I I do kind of AEW have kind of dug himself into a hole now where we kind of expect somebody to turn up at a pay-per-view and it'd be like, yes.
Yeah. So yeah, if it's not Miro, if it's not Punk,
if it's not Shane O'Mac,
if it's not FTR,
FTR, yeah.
Fucking hell, Shane McMahon, stop it. Just stop it. Stop it now. I can legitimately see it happening because with the whole MJF, you know, he's always on about the 2024 business. Yeah. I can see it happening. I just really don't want it to happen.
No,
I can do without that.
Yes, I fully agree. And yeah, obviously, we haven't seen Darby Allin and Sting for a while. I don't know if they could play a factor at any point during this.
Yeah,
they could have Big Net a while ago. I don't know. I don't see where they fit into anything at the minute, which is a shame because
I think Darby's been given time off to film some things because he's a stuntman. Yes. He's a crazy person. And I think Sting said a few months ago that this is gonna be his last year in wrestling. Right. I'm paraphrasing, so I would like maybe for Sting and Darby to get a tag title run, maybe at some point before he hits the old dusty trail.
Yeah, I'll be up for that. So, but anyway, I think I don't think there's a bad match on the card. As I say, even the matches I'm least excited about will be a very solid 3 out of 5. You know, the tag titles matches and the Jungle Boy cage match. They're not going to be below par. They're going to be very good matches. It's all, for me, it's all about different levels of investment. You know, am I emotionally invested in this match? Not so much. Am I emotionally invested in this match? Fuck yes.
Yeah.
The thing, obviously, the match, barring the main event, the trios title, that's the match for my emotion. That's one I'll be the most emotional at.
Yeah, 100%. And if the Elite win, I'm gonna be that gif of the Asian guy going emotional damage, wounded.
Oh, you can have that gif. I'll be the gif of the fucking 3-year-old in the supermarket throwing herself on the floor.
Why? Yeah,
that's the one. Yeah. But yeah, that's the Badger. So, any other insights to add? Words of wisdom?
Let me just see if I've written anything down, which is entirely possible, because I do. I think I've mentioned everything I had written down here. Yeah, I've mentioned everything. So yeah, I feel like it's a shame if Swerve and Keith Lee aren't on the card. I think it's a missed opportunity for Adam Cole to not be on, but I understand if that's the case. Anyway, I'm waffling. I'll stop waffling. It's fine.
No, it's all good. So good.
Now I've had this conversation, I am much more excited because I was speaking to my mate earlier. He's a big AEW dude as well, and I was saying that whenever an AEW pay-per-view is approaching, I usually am like vibrating with excitement because it's always guaranteed to be incredible, like proper good show from top to bottom.
Yeah.
But with this one, with the card and the build, I don't know, I felt a bit flat. It's not as, oh my god, it's like soon. It's happening soon. It's not being that for me with this time, but like this chat's helped, so thank you. Legit, I'm excited.
From a totally selfish perspective, it's not for the other people who do watch this, but thank you for watching if you are those people. I use these videos to get myself hyped up as well, you know, and hopefully yourself and anybody else that's on with us at any given point. So yeah, I'm fully hyped now for this pay-per-view. Finished work today. I've got Monday off. I'll be sure to get some beers and munchies in Sunday night, and I will have a damn good time.
Sounds good to me, man. I don't think I can drink on the job, unfortunately.
I'll drink your share, man. It's all right.
I'll be watching.
So yeah, obviously, if you're watching this, hit like, hit subscribe, follow us on Instagram. My man will tell you where.
WTLS 316. Put me to the
go.
test there.
On the spot. Obviously, follow us on Twitter as well and TikTok. It's WTLS 420. And just on Facebook, just search for Work the Left Side. We have general conversations on there. It's probably the best place to talk to all of us who are on the Facebook group, and we all kind of chime in with different things. So,
don't forget OnlyFans / Work the Left Side, where Nick's on there daily, posting saucy, spicy content.
Spider-Man dance one. That's all it is. It's just me.
Wrestling cosplays daily.
And yeah, in all seriousness, if you want that, let me know. I could do with the money. Dude, it's been an absolute pleasure. As always, thank you for joining me, for joining us. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, hit like. And we will see you next week. Don't forget, it is March. This is True Grit month at Work the Left Side. We'll be focusing on True Grit in Leeds. And then April will be the 1PW month, where I'm happy to announce I will be talking to Mark Haskins, maybe Vicky Haskins as well. I'm trying to talk her into joining him so we can have a nice little conversation. I was going to say three-way, but we're going to have a nice little conversation. That nearly slipped out.
That would be a good-looking three-way.
Scare the crap out of me, dude. I'd run out the room.
And that's just Mark Haskins.
Yeah, pretty much. Lizzie Evo and Robbie X as well. So I've managed to sweet talk some quality people into talking to me next month. I'm trying to convince Ash to join me for the Lizzie chat. So if I stop over my words, you two can just talk football.
I'll be a little starstruck, but anyway.
See what happens. Right, I will wish you adios, and thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.